Welcome back to another episode of Decoded, a Lost Codex podcast. My name is Jesse, and I'm the writer, director, and narrator for the Lost Codex episodes. Today I'm joined by Jeff.
Hello there.
And Zillions. This is your first time on stream, Zillions.
It is.
This is exciting. I don't think you've actually been on Decoded before at all. But
you're right.
Now we're here live. Guys, we're in California. We're in, where are we? Orange County right now.
Orange County, Anaheim.
We're actually within spitting distance of BlizzCon.
You'd have to be able to spit pretty well.
But, like...
We're in visual distance.
Yeah, definitely.
I like the spitting analogy because that's just so close. Not that I can spit like a llama. We're like a 5-minute walk from the BlizzCon Convention Center, and we are 4 days away. And I am so excited. But we're not gonna talk about BlizzCon first. Actually, we're gonna talk about BlizzCon last because you guys are probably sick of. If you're sick of BlizzCon, why are you even watching this podcast? We do have some notes to cover. I want to cover some stuff that I thought was interesting over the last couple of days. Let me bring up my documents here. I don't know if any of these guys have thoughts on this, but I know people who tune into Decoded have told me, like, you actually are my weekly PTR news info, and I'm kind of like, there are so many other better sources of info for PTR because I'm very selective in what I talk about. But I've talked in the past about feedback and talking to Blizzard about how do you give feedback to the developer team without being an asshole. And this whole expansion since the beginning has been, we all know there's been a negative crap storm. The community is pointing fingers and people saying Blizzard isn't listening, and there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. And I've been an advocate of saying, let's just be nice. Why do we need to be jerks about it? Why can't we just
spread positivity?
Spread positivity.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that doesn't mean you're not allowed to not like something, but, God forbid we treat them like humans, right? And last week or the week before, Red Shirt Guy, Ian, posted an article about everything he felt was wrong with 8.1. The Dark Shore storyline, the fact that the Night Elves called Tyrande Queen, the fact that Tyrande says, spare no one, and then lets all the Forsaken live. It just seemed very, it didn't add up. And in the last PTR build, all of those changes, all those suggestions that Ian said in a very diplomatic, polite, I don't like this, and here's why, and here are things that I would do to change it, that's feedback. Your game is garbage, and your writing is awful, and you should quit your job or be fired. That serves no one. That doesn't do anything.
Not gonna get you anywhere.
No. So Ian was like, here's the problem, here's why it's a problem, and here's what I would do to fix it. And every single thing he suggested was changed. And I have a very quick blurb here. Tyrande hates being called queen, so the Night Elves no longer call her queen. When she says spare no one, she kills like 90% of the Forsaken right there. And people thought it was a little bit weird that Nathanos, aside from being, number one shopper at Hot Topic and the edgiest guy in Battle for Azeroth right now, fighting Tyrande and not losing, he's pretty powerful, but not fighting against
the literal incarnation of Elune.
Yeah, no matter who is going to, even Malfurion should have a problem with that. So now Nathanos actually has a buff by the Valkyr that allow him to stand toe-to-toe a little bit longer before she, I think, kicks his ass. So changes have been made. Other changes, there was problems with the Dwarven Heritage armor set. That one had a problem because it referenced the set being millennia years old, generations years old, and it came from Matarin Bronzebeard. But Matarin was around like 400 years ago, or 800 years ago, which is the lifespan of 2 dwarves. So they actually changed it to be the very first Bronzebeard dwarf who started the Bronzebeard clan. I believe it's the very first one. I actually don't know his name. I'm pretty sure they just made him up for this quest line. But they basically made this armor set not 800 years old, but several thousand years old, which is a good change. And then the other one I have, there was, the Saurfang choice. People were saying, and this is an interesting thing that I didn't think they would add to the game, but why must I side with Saurfang? Why can't I choose to side with Sylvanas? And I never would have thought Blizzard would put in a choice in an MMO. Choices in MMOs don't make sense. And I'm sorry if you disagree, but the story doesn't revolve around us. If you quit tomorrow, Jeffrey, and you come back in 8.2 and it's Naga, does that mean the attack of Battle for Zuldazar didn't happen? No,
It just means that I did not participate in
it happens regardless. If Zillions quits for 4 expansions, does that mean that Miss Pandaria didn't happen for her? No, the story proceeds without us. So in a MMO, like playing Warcraft 3 was a very I said you play the heroes, you played God watching over the heroes, but you don't get a choice in this game. And I know I love choice games. Do you like choice games?
Yes.
But in WoW, there's no choice. You have the choice to kill someone in PvP. You have the choice to do quests, but you don't have a choice that impacts the story because although we are the hero, we're not the hero. We're the servants of the heroes. Jaina, Anduin, Sylvanas, Rexar. Those are the heroes. We don't actually matter. People are going to disagree in the comments. We do not impact the story at all. And the fact that we can now choose to support Sarfang or Sylvanas, cool. What do you think about that?
I like it a lot, actually.
Do you think it's going to impact the future of the game?
I don't think so because at the end of the day, the story is going to still end up the same. Mm-hmm. But in the meantime, we are going to at least feel like we didn't have to side with the Dark Lady. We can side with Sarfang.
Right.
Things will end up the same way. It's kind of like in a choose your own adventure, but the last chapter is the same. Mm. It's just a different journey to get to the same destination.
That's actually a really good way of explaining it because people who think that there's a choice in it, people expect, oh, well, I chose, so I have a chance to impact the end of the story. No, we don't. So, we're going to get to the same point. Whatever happens, Blizzard knows what's happening 4, 5, 6 patches from now, and I guarantee the choice to support Sarfang and Zappy Boy versus the Dark Lady. I'm betting right now. It's not going to matter right now. We can choose. We can have that importance, but as Zillion said, it's going to just get us to that end point because really, that chapter is written so far in advance. So cool, but I'm surprised, and I hope Blizzard does stuff like that more in the future to give the illusion of choice. But remember, it's an illusion of choice. Really, it's not going to impact. I wish I had that option to side with Garrosh back in the day, because that would have been cool. But again, that wouldn't have gone anywhere, because ultimately Garrosh's fate was written well before the Siege of Orgrimmar came out. So I found that was the most important news from the PTR, is all these changes. Blizzard is listening, so if you have feedback, just break down your feedback. But
feedback can work, but only if you structure it properly, structure it politely, and don't be a little bitch about it.
Yeah,
basically. Pardon my French.
Pardon your French. There's there's this idea that when someone is nasty on the internet to developers and says you have to look beyond the negativity and look for the message hidden there. No, you don't. They don't have to listen to the negativity at all. If you're a dick, but there's a message behind you being a dick, it doesn't matter. They don't have to listen to that at all. So, if I'm a developer and I'm scrolling through Reddit, I'm going to look at the blocks of text that aren't ripping me apart and stuff like that. So don't say, oh, well, the developer should look through hidden meanings. No, they don't have to. They're people too. Guys, we're going to move on to Beyond the Weekly News. Oh.
One other thing on that same note, having talked to a couple developers, just in a conversational setting, I can say something along the lines of like, well, I really didn't like Siege of Orgrimmar, and a lot of times if you just say that in a conversation, they're like, well, why? They're not going to just assume, well, it was the longest amount of time that we've been in the raid ever, and I hated killing Garrosh so many times, things like that. They want to know why you don't like something. They're actually open and interested, very interested in why you don't like something that they developed, because they're developing things that make you want to have fun playing their game. That's their ultimate goal, is to make you have fun playing their video game.
They don't go to work trying to hate the players?
Actually, no.
Wow.
Yeah, right? So, phrase your feedback in a way as if, you were having a conversation, you had the ear of the director of World of Warcraft. If you were able to tell them very concisely, this is what I think is wrong, and this is what you can do to fix it, they might just listen. And that's what Ian Bates did. That's what Red Shirt Guy did. That's who we're talking about, is Ian Bates, retro guy.
Yeah.
If you
So
want
shout
to
out to Ian Bates. You are a rock star.
Yes,
Bates.
he's coming to BlizzCon. I'm pretty sure. He better
always
be.
does.
He better be.
He
So,
always does.
Ian, if you're watching this, good job, man. Good job.
Good
Thank
job,
you.
Ian. I'm pointing at the microphone because I can't see.
Depth perception. What were we gonna say, Jeff?
I was going to say that if you want to whisper into Ian Asakostas' ear what you want to have happen, like actually whisper, actually like use normal language instead of scream
Right.
whatever you want.
Yeah.
Is
Wait, not sweet nothings?
Well, that too.
Well,
Sorry,
Well,
wrong subject.
Decoded After Dark again. Here we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on beyond on the weekly news, guys. The point is positivity counts when it comes to feedback. Today's episode is going to be revolving around TwitchCon and BlizzCon. TwitchCon just ended. For those of you who didn't watch the last episode, Jeffrey and Zillions and I were at TwitchCon in San Jose, and it was all of our first TwitchCon
it
in
was an
total.
experience, that was for sure.
As someone who goes to BlizzCon every year and knows what a con is like, it was different. I was actually surprised at the amount of social interaction and networking that was there as well beyond regular BlizzCon, but I definitely had the idea, okay, this isn't BlizzCon. This is not the same, but it's not awful either. And we have in our notes here,
Jesse, was this your first non-BlizzCon gaming convention?
do we count like Comic-Cons as gaming conventions when
No.
they're there? Like when
Comic Cons.
what about like Fan Expo when there's gaming companies there?
Okay, so if you're mentioning those, we'll just say yes, you have.
I'd say I've been to one, and so my experiences aren't that.
Okay.
I don't have that many experiences. You, on the other hand, have.
Well, I just wanted to ask your background.